The part of your speech that I'm privy to sort of has this dual focus on economic recovery and addressing COVID-19. And I'm wondering, how intertwined are these issues right now in your mind?
I mean, they are completely intertwined, right? So the COVID virus has thrown, so much at us. And there's no question that the health crisis is inextricably linked to the economic crisis. It, you can't fix the economic crisis without fixing the health crisis. And so the plan to recover has got to have strategy on both fronts. And I think that's why this moment and this recovery plan is so important. And it's also why I'm hopeful that we can find common ground and that this will transcend the usual partisan arguments. I know we got our work cut out for us on all these fronts, but this is the key to our economic resurgence in Michigan.
And I know that your plan addresses the spending some federal money on vaccine distribution. Obviously, more vaccines would also be nice, a point you've made repeatedly. The Washington Post is reporting that Jeff Zients, the coordinator of the White House's COVID response, will inform governors of a 16% increase coming up. Have you had that call yet? And what would that mean practically for Michigan?
I've not had that call yet. However, this afternoon I'm on a call, NGA, the National Governors Association, with the White House. And so I am hopeful that we get good news formalized in that conversation. But I can tell you that our team here in Michigan is viewed as, one of the best in the country. And we have spent a lot of time on the phone with Jeff and his team. Friday, we were on the phone with Dr. Kessler and General Perna. We have spent a lot of time with the Biden White House as they prepared to take office. They've been in office for just over a week now, just less than a week now. Tomorrow it'll be a week, and have made great strides. There's no question in my mind that we could do 50,000 shots a day if we got the vaccines. So a 16% increase and that will increase really can make a big difference. We've been getting 60,000 shots a week, where our capacity could be 50,000 a day if we had the vaccines. And so I know that the Biden administration is really working to ramp up, and this would be welcome news, because the sooner we get to 70% of our population having been vaccinated, the more normal life is going to feel and look, and the more things we'll be able to enjoy again. And I know we are all looking forward to that moment.
And I know you lay out a lot of your COVID-19 recovery plan. Should we expect to hear a lot about that in the speech tomorrow?
I think the COVID recovery plan is going to be, emblematic of a lot of the same values that I ran on, that we have worked on since taking office, but are that much more crucial in this moment. It'll be reflected in the speech, those same, right, getting our kids back in school, re-energizing and re-engaging our economy and our workforce, and getting our arms around COVID by distributing the vaccine. Those are the fundamentals to our economic resurgence and returning to some normalcy. And so you'll see that reflected in the speech, reflected in the budget, et cetera. That's got to be what we all find common ground on and work on and spend all our energy on.
Tell me more about the Michigan Back to Work program that you'll announce tomorrow.
So we are, I think, going to have a high, sharp focus on ensuring that we're working across state government to retain, to grow, to bring jobs into Michigan. This is going to be a all hands on deck effort, and we'll be working with the private sector. We'll be working with local governments. I think that this is, we're going to have an opportunity to see a lot of different types of investment that can happen in Michigan. We need some more tools too, to be sure, and that's why we will focus on good jobs for Michigan as well. These are all important pieces to having an economic development toolkit, to highlighting and acknowledging and holding on to jobs that have been here and growing in places where we've got opportunities. So we did a lot of incredible things in year one. year two was consumed by COVID. We want to get back in the business of really pushing forward in our economy and growing good paying jobs here in Michigan and closing the skills gap, which is what Futures for Frontliners will take us a big step forward on, which the Bipartisan Michigan Reconnect will help us take another big step on. So these are our bipartisan accomplishments that happened last year that will inure to all of our benefit in the years ahead, and this year especially.
The brief mentioned a few areas that you're aiming to attract jobs in. One was tech. One that caught my attention was road construction as one of the areas this initiative could grow jobs in. Are you making another run at a comprehensive road funding solution this year?
Well, so I know that we haven't been talking about roads very much in the last 12 months, but we've been building roads in the last 12 months. We have moved a lot of dirt. I know you're spent a lot of time in Lansing, so you've seen I-496, but we got 122 other projects in the works that are happening all across the state in the most frequently traveled parts of the state. And so we're making strides on that. Legislature had introduced some legislation to give locals the ability to move some dirt too, give them some more options, and that's something I think that we should definitely get done.
In general, as you look at economic recovery, states are limited what they can do in terms of stimulus because we don't deficit spend, of course. But aside from the existing federal money that you've proposed spending as part of your recovery plan, what kind of partnership are you counting on from the feds to get our economy back on track?
I think one of the real opportunities for us in this year is a great relationship with the Biden White House and across federal government. If everyone gets confirmed that President Biden has nominated, we'll have a former Michigan governor as the Secretary of Energy. I'll have a former colleague, Governor Gina Raimondo, as the head of Commerce. We'll have a fellow Midwesterner and Michigan property owner, Pete Buttigieg, as our Secretary of Transportation. So this is just 3 examples off the top of my head. We are going to have some great opportunities, I think, in partnership with the Biden White House. And I am incredibly grateful that I've been able to build a relationship with this president. He keeps asking me to serve in different capacities. So long as I can keep staying governor of Michigan, I will I'll add another hat on top of my head. But I think that this relationship is going to be really important and really helpful for the state of Michigan. I know that Governor Engler had a great relationship with George W. Bush. I know that Jim Blanchard had a great relationship with Bill Clinton. It really can be something that it can powerfully help a state if there's a good relationship, and I'm glad that we have one.
In terms of spending and stimulus on the federal level, do you think we need some sort of broader investment in putting people to work, a la the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression?
I know that President Biden is moving forward on a variety of fronts, all of which I think are going to be good for Michigan, frankly. The relief package that he is pushing recognizes the incredible need at the state level and at the local level. By large part, we've been totally responsible for building up our vaccine administration and have had no resources from the feds to do that. So this is going to be really important. His dedication to education and helping close our kids' learning gap is something that I think is crucial. But, in terms of that specific program that you cite, I've not heard details on that, on a front like that. But I do know that whether it's helping businesses that have been struggling, like restaurants in particular, nationwide, not just here in Michigan, he's got, I think, big plans to help people get through this tough time and get back on our feet so that we can lead. And the future economy around manufacturing, I know that this is something that is in his blood, that is going to drive a lot of the investment that we make as a nation, and I think will uniquely benefit the state of Michigan.
It seemed like you were sort of hitting a wall yesterday with questions about Robert Gordon's departure. Is there any sort of legal agreement that precludes you from speaking more about the circumstances around his departure?
No, he's a he's worked incredibly hard. I really am grateful for everything that we've done together over the past 2 years. It has been grueling, and I wish him well. There's not more to the story here. I do feel very fortunate that we've got Elizabeth Hertel, who is able to step in and lead us through this next phase of COVID. But there's not much more to add.